A newcomer to Seattle, Eric Wedge, manager of the Seattle Mariners, new into town. This is your first Star of the Year banquet, so we're planning to blow you away.
Very good. Well, it's been a great event already. I've been here for just a little bit, but met some great people. It's a great event. Get a chance to get my wife out of the house and have a fun evening.
And speaking of the house, have you got a place yet?
We did. We bought a place on Mercer Island, 2,600 miles across the country, and we're not unpacked, but we're in the house. We're digging out 400 plus boxes and down to less than 20 now, so we're moving in the right direction.
I know that it's been moving from Cleveland. There are managers who have not relocated, but I remember in your introductory press conference you said you kind of thought that was a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all in. I mean, I think that's the way you have to be in this day and age. I mean, it's just it's just too much to do. You know, it's a big operation. I have so much respect for the managerial position in baseball. I take that job very seriously. I don't take myself that seriously, but I take the job that seriously, and I think it demands as much of my time as I can devote to it.
Eric, you talked a little bit about in your first press conference about some of the things that you learned in your 7 years with the Cleveland Indians, and I wanted to see if you would touch on some of that, the progression of a manager who you were very young when you came, and this is the second go-round, and I wanted to see if you'd share with our viewers a little bit about the difference between Eric Wedge now and the Eric Wedge who began in Cleveland.
Well, I think that the experience that I've gained over that period of time was just invaluable. You know, being around the likes of a Buddy Bell and so many other just quality people and quality coaches that just really helped me along the way. I think patience. When you talk about the grind of 162 games in 6 months, and ultimately, hopefully, the postseason, I think that patience is rewarded, time and time again. But I think that ultimately, as you see it through, you got to be able to see around the corner. And I think that with time and experience, I think you're able to do that, and I think that's going to help us.
What was in terms of looking at this team now, you obviously, spring training is still a couple of weeks away. What have you picked up on? We all know about the offense and the problems that it had here. And we also know that the budget is fairly limited. You're not going to go out and sign, a big free agent type. What's your vision of how this team can compete this year, knowing that you're probably at least a year away from genuine contention?
I think we're just looking to establish a culture here, first and foremost. I think the intangibles are going to be, so important this first year. I mean, we're going to have a very long spring training. We've got a lot of work to do. But we've got to establish a culture. They've got to understand what it means to be a Seattle Mariner. They have to understand what it means to go out and work hard and prepare and do it on a day-to-day basis. We've got some good young players coming. We feel good about some of the acquisitions we made this offseason. Now, this wasn't the time for us to go out there and spend a ton of money. We've got too much other stuff to do. We got a lot of other work that we need to have to get done first. So that foundation that we're working to establish, the way we go about our business, what the fans can expect when they come to the ballpark, we need to take care of that first.
In so many sports, certainly baseball, instant gratification seems to be a much bigger deal these days than it used to be. And it can be difficult, I think, for a first-time manager here if you feel the pressure to instantly produce with a lineup that is, maybe a year or so away. How did you reconcile that with Mariner management?
Well, I don't feel the pressure. I mean, I understand where we are. I have a clear understanding of where we're going to go and how we're going to get there. So, I don't get caught up in worrying about, the press or some of the other so-called pressures of being a manager. I mean, I've just got too much confidence in what I'm doing and what I know that we're going to do here as a ball club. Jack Sorenzik's been fantastic. The ownership group's been fantastic. They understood, before I took this on, just how we were going to do this and just, and the way we we're going to go about it. It's going to be real. It's going to be something in time the fans can count on, and that's the only way to do it.
So everybody wants to know, how soon is Ackley going to be up at second base?
Well, we're going to take a good look at him. We'll take a good look at him this spring. I mean, I don't know if for him to break with our club, somewhat of a long shot. Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. But, we've got some other good young players we want to take a good look at as well. So, we've got time. We've got time. We're going to go out there and we're going to be very competitive. But ultimately, we're going to move in the right direction day in and day out.
Very good. Eric Wedge, thank you for stopping by. Enjoy the Seattle Sports Star of the Year. First time for him. He'll be back. And who knows, maybe as an honoree next time. Thank you, Eric.